Howdy, 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 folks. It's your boy, Heffa Tanks, back with another tank review for you. And today, we have the first of its kind, the EBR 75 MLE 1954. It is the Tier 8 wheeled light tank, first of its kind on console. It has a 2-shot autoloader, 4 wheels, actually scratch that, 8 wheels, 2 drive modes, and quite a lot of speed. There's a lot more to this tank, you guys, so I'm just gonna hop right into it. I'll be giving more about the details and stuff later on in the video, but for now, let's just go down the basics with this thing. Alright, 2 drive modes with it. I don't know the exact names, but you can see right next to my hit point pool on the bottom left of the screen, you'll see a little symbol. Now, the symbol that I'm in right now is for speed. You get a top speed of 75, and you get bad gun handling. You can see my gun handling is really bad. And you get not really good turning right and left. So that is what you get with this speed. You know, there's some plus sides to it. You go 75 in a straight line, you have okay turning right and left, but you can't be turning on a dime like how you can with the other drive mode. So the other drive mode, we're just gonna call it the mobility drive mode. All right, that drive mode gives you excellent gun handling on the move. Your gun is just disgustingly accurate. It gives you bad top speed. Not bad, but enough. It's going to be like around 60 kilometers an hour for your top speed. But the big thing with it is what's in the name, mobility. You get really, really good mobility. You can turn a circle super easily in this thing, a very sharp circle too. You're going to have to learn how to use both of those driving modes interchangeably through the entire game if you really want to do good in this tank. I'm going to take a quick second here to talk about the view range on this tank. It is sub 400 meters view range. So I know that there's a TD right over there. He just fired. That is not very far. My circle for vision is well within that guy's area, and I still haven't spotted him yet. Now I finally spot him right there, and my cone was well on him. But that's just the thing, is that even though your cone is on him, you still don't have the view range to be able to spot people very well in this thing. I'm pausing the gameplay here just to talk for a second, because as soon as I saw this light tank, I needed to switch out of my speed mode and into my mobility mode. I don't want to be my shots missing when I'm in that speed mode. This is something that you're going to want to be doing whenever you're in engagement in this tank, is automatically switch to the mobility mode, because you need that accuracy and you need to be able to serpentine right and left. Now, when I unfreeze this clip, you're going to see that I'm just in it with 2 light tanks. You don't want to make contact with any tanks, even lights, when you're playing this thing. You are so light that any touch to you will take 200 easy off of your tank. So you'll see that you need to adjust your gameplay to not play as a traditional light tank, because you're not heavy. You can't take rams, and you'll see that you just need to keep moving, no matter. Even if it hinders you, you need to move away from the enemy tanks, because the enemy tanks will try to ram you because they know that they will be better off. Alrighty, so we're back into the gameplay. Even though I end up missing these shots, I need to start engaging this light tank. I moved to the left. He wanted to ram me right there. I'm not going to let him. I do a hard left. I didn't see this Bat Shack coming in here. But see, I'm getting close to him again. I don't want to touch him. I'm going to turn hard left right here. And it's these weird movements that actually make you a really difficult target to hit. Now, I'm gonna switch back to my speed mode, because I'm done engaging these guys. If I stay down there, I'm gonna die. So I need to put all the power behind my tank again and get out of the engagement, and that is exactly what I did. Now, let's talk about the gun on this thing. It has a 2-shot autoloader, each shot doing 175 damage, so it's around 350 damage per clip. And you get the clip out incredibly fast with that 1.5 second inner clip reload. Now, with food activated, you got like a 7.4 second reload, which is so incredibly good. And the accuracy when you're using the mobility drive mode is incredibly well also. So the gun is sound on this. It does take a lot of shots to start doing actually some decent damage, but the gun is sound. One thing I want you guys to see right now is that even though I'm in the speed mode, as soon as I stop moving, look how fast this aim time is. Boom and boom. You don't have to switch to your mobility mode just to get shots in. If you stop moving and just stand still for a second, your aim time is so good that you can literally just pop shots in and still get on your way. Get 2 more shots into the Barask right there, and I'm instantly gone again. Pay attention to what mode I'm in, you guys. So speed, I know I'm about to engage the Barask. I switch to my mobility, get the grid aim time. Boom, on the move, few crashes, easy kill, auto aim. Switch right back to the speed mode. That is how you guys want to use this thing. You're going to be switching in and out of modes all the time through your game if you really want to be doing well in this tank. So now that we have the speed again, let's talk about the tracks, or lack of them for that matter. Now, you have 4 wheels on each side of your tank. 2 driving wheels in the front and 2 driving wheels in the back. So the 2 or 4 wheels in the middle go up and down depending on what drive mode you're in. When you're in the speed mode, the wheels are retracted up and the front and the back wheels just drive the tank so you can just go fast. When you're in the mobility mode, those 4 wheels drop down, so you have more traction on the ground so that you can turn right and left harder and better. Now, when you get damage to a wheel, you lose your 1, speed, and you lose 2, your mobility. So the more wheels that get knocked off of your tank, the more and more mobility and the more and more speed that you lose. Just getting 1 track, or 1 wheel knocked off when you're going in the top speed of 75 will knock you down to around 50, which is insane. It is really crippling for your tank if you get all of your, or multiple wheels knocked off. So I would highly recommend you carrying a large repair kit. I think the only thing that I haven't said about this tank is that it has the same reverse speed as it has forward speed. So if you want to drive backwards at 75, you totally can. It really does work both ways, and you're going to have to get used to driving backwards because you're going to be running into a lot of shit. And you're not going to be able to turn your tank right and left because you don't have tracks, you got wheels, so you got to reverse like a car, do a 3-point turn, and pray to God that you don't get annihilated in that time. So what are my thoughts on this tank? The first thing I'm going to say is that the driving is going to be the biggest hurdle for you to get through. The driving is just not like any other light tank. Like I said, you have to reverse out of situations that you fucked up in. You can't turn right and left. You know, if you make a mistake, you're committed to a line. Once you get into it, you're committed. Here's a game clip that I'm talking about. I take a corner too hot in this thing, and gravity just sends me to the left, into and wedges me under. I'm dead. Shit like this is gonna happen often when you're driving around. That is why the tank's biggest plus side is also one of its biggest negatives. The next thing I would say is the big negative on this tank is the view range. It's absolutely horrendous. It's only like 370 meters. Like, what the heck is that? 379 meters in a tier 8 light tank? The Vanguard, for comparison, has 464 meters view range and better steel concealment. Which begs the question, why would you even play the wheeled light tank if the Vanguard just does it better? It's still just as mobile, not as super crazy mobile when it comes to the right and left in the mobility mode, but you still have the better view range and the better camo. You're going to get outspotted in this thing all the time. When this thing gets into a bottom tier matchmaking when against tier 10s, it's horrible. It's honestly really bad. The camo and the view range is just not good enough. You'll get outspotted by pretty much every single tier 10 tank on the battlefield. And I just don't see how you're supposed to really do anything. If you want it, you need to be aggressive because your view range isn't good, so you need to get up in there. But then your camo also is worse, and the view range on the enemy tanks is better than your camo, so you're just constantly spotted. So you just got to rely on your mobility, and honestly, yeah, like you can go right and left really fast, but also you're not hard to hit, like at all. You're a big target, you're not a Vanguard, you're not small. So people hit you easily. You get your wheels knocked off, you're even slower, even easier to hit. I'm not saying that there isn't a place for this tank. I'm just saying light tanks do it better than wheeled light tanks at the moment. At least when it comes to this guy. But enough of that. Let's show you the raw statistics of this tank. 0.34 accuracy for the gun. Really good. You can see my equipment that I have on the tank right now. So I have the camo net, the vision, and the gun stabilizer. All large repair kits. I don't carry any HE. You're more than welcome to carry some if you want, but I don't really feel like it's worth going through a 7-second reload to fire 2 little shots into somebody. I'd rather just keep my ammo loaded as is. Here are the perks I'm using. The only thing that I could think that maybe I would switch out for something is maybe putting the repair speed. Because when your wheels get damaged, they're just like tracks. So you want them repaired faster. They will repair by themselves eventually, but if you don't have a repair kit and you get a wheel hit, you're sort of in trouble. So getting them repaired faster might help just a little. Armor on this tank, it has none, which is why if you get rammed by a light tank, you lose 400 of your hit points. So just don't make contact with any tanks. Simple rule to try to do. Here are the detailed statistics here. You guys can pause it and look through it. The APCR shell velocity is really good in this tank. But what I've noticed is that since this tank is really fast, the servers are having a hard time keeping up with your shells. I have ghost shelled so many tanks in this thing, it's unbelievable. So Wargaming has really got to start buffing their servers up if they really want to start having more of these things run around. Would I recommend this tank to buy? I would say no. For a new player, this thing is going to be a horrible experience for you. For someone who is experienced, then if you just want to play this thing just to see what it's about, I would say go for it. That's why I bought it. I'm an avid light tank player, and honestly, the gameplay is quite interesting once you get used to it, but it is not an easy road whatsoever. If you are planning on picking this tank up, I would just wait for the loaded version to come out, which is just the tank and just throwing your own crew in it. That'd be the most efficient way of getting this thing. The new wheeled light tanks line comes out in like a week, you guys. So I will be going down that line, and I will have hopefully a video with wheeled light tanks tips and tricks, because Lord, people are going to need them. I know as hell I am. So if you like what you guys saw today, if you thought the video was informative and entertaining and whatnot, do me a favor, rack the like and subscribe button, hit the bell in the top right, tell your homies about it, drop a comment, and I will see you guys in the next one. Alrighty, adios.